Thank you for joining me. So, we're going to talk about paralegal work, about some business development skills that make paralegal work very profitable. My presentation for the day. I request all of you to quickly introduce yourselves. Who has please introduce yourselves in the chat quickly. Tell me where you are logging in from, what you do. Hi Pranav, how are you guys doing? The rest of you also quickly introduce yourselves. I'm going to open the presentation. So 5 business development skills that paralegals, that will help paralegals to find best paying work not only in India, but even in other markets and in India also, but abroad in the USA, in the preferably in an English speaking market, but potentially even in other markets, right? That there are plenty of work, even some of these will work in places like Singapore, Hong Kong, English speaking market, for where law firms and lawyers would want these services, but it will also work in some other markets like Germany, France, where they are not primarily English speaking. It still needs some English business development work. But the problem, it's a little difficult if you do not know their local language. It can be a little bit of a lot of times you can work with people who are good in English, although let's say they are French, but they are good in English, still be able to work with you. So, but otherwise, there are plenty of countries around the world where English is the lingua franca, the main language. So remember that we are going to talk about an international market, and this is something that is used not only India but around the world, right? So if you understand talent arbitrage and purchase, you by now you know that a lot of money can be made by doing remote paralegal work, like a lot of different webinars on these topics. So you guys have attended those webinars before, talking about paralegal work, how paralegal work can be the beginning of an international career for you. We have paralegal work, what are the skills needed for different kind of paralegal work. uh, you can earn in paralegal work. You can earn sometimes. There are paralegals in India, and I've shown you proof, right, online, that there are lawyers who are earning more than even top law firm lawyers in India, right? I've shown you even there are people who are earning even more than 70 lakhs in a year, okay, from doing such work internationally. So if you're attending this webinar for the first time related to paralegal work, you have to watch a few more to understand the scope of the opportunity, okay? So there are a few videos, like I'll show you here one right now on screen, right? So I'll mute this, but yeah, top platforms for finding freelance paralegal work online, right? I'm going to share the link also with you guys so you can see this. Here's the link, right? So any of you attended this webinar before? Any of you here who attended this webinar before? Right? All right, so let's go back. So you guys have been there. Great. So, oops, what happened? Okay, so while there is a lot of money to be made from paralegal work, what about the skills that you need to do the work, right? So what are the skills you need to know? Nobody will give you money for free, right? You have to do some work. to make any money. So here we spoke about the 10 general administrative and procedural skills expected from paralegals, right? So these are, here you need to know, and you know, more than law, you have to understand procedure. If you want to work in the USA as a paralegal and earn a lot of money, for example, here we talk about the procedural skills you need to know, right? And it's not bad to, I'm sure it's something that you haven't learned in India in law schools, but if you are going to earn like 1 lakh, 2 lakh rupees per month, or even like 75,000, 80,000 rupees per month, these are not skills that are bad to learn, right? You'd probably want to learn the skills nonetheless, because these are very, very useful skills that you're earning so much money. So to just learn some US procedure is not a bad idea. But we talk about what are those procedural knowledge that you need, and especially if you're looking to migrate to USA. There are a lot of people in India who want to practice in the USA as an attorney in the future, right? So for them especially this is important, and this kind of paralegal work can be the beginning of a much bigger journey for them, right? So if they want that. So you talked about that in this webinar over here. Then, but you know, lot of you asked that, you know, you don't know these skills, right? We spoke about even IP skills. I forgot one more. If you could be a specialized IP paralegal, right? And here in this video, we talked about that. I'll again share the link, right? Why IP paralegal jobs are your gateway to an international IP career. I really, really strongly recommend that you watch this webinar also if you have not watched. How many of you watched this webinar already? Is there anybody who here who has already watched this already? You say yes. Yes, so Pranav was there, right? So we spoke about these things, right? IP paralegal and all of that. However, many of you said that, you know, you do not have these skills and it will take you a while to learn these things. So is there something that I can easily get started, right? So is there something that you can start doing right now without learning these things, without having to learn USPTO work, US, United States Patent and Trademark Office, how to work, you know, what kind of work IP lawyers do for registration, prosecution of intellectual property, trademark, patents. Maybe you don't know, right? So it's hard for you to do such work, or you don't know much about how to organize depositions, or you know, you don't know about discovery or rediscovery. You don't understand these concepts. You don't know how to do these things. So is there something you can still do? Is there something easy that you can get started now with something? And that is what today's webinar is about. You know, nothing is really easy because you have to do excellent work skillfully to stand out and get these opportunities. Any opportunities you have, it's not easy, right? So if they are going to consider you, and one reason to consider you is that yes, they're going to pay you much less. They can pay 1/4 less to an Indian remote worker compared to a local paralegal. But apart from that, they also are very fearful that they will get to work with somebody who's not a good quality paralegal, and they'll end up compromising the quality of the work. So when they are outsourcing the work, they are very, very quality conscious, right? Anybody who's outsourcing work, they are highly quality conscious. They are worried, and law is a very critical kind of industry, right? They're very worried that their clients will suffer because of your mistake. So nothing is really easy. Like, you know, you have to really shine on the quality aspect, and you have to show that you really have got your quality part handled. Otherwise, they'll be very worried to hire you. They'll be very worried to work with you altogether. So you need to be careful about the quality aspect, right? But there are certain things, and if you do poor work, you will get ditched very quickly. Like, you know, there's no hope that you will be doing poor work and somehow survive, right? That's not going to happen. If you do really, really good work, you're not going to be there doing that work at all. Now, however, there are certain business development skills that are highly in demand across the world, right? They are in demand in India. Forget any other country. If you know these skills and you're really good at this, and you come to me and say, Ramanuj, I want a job with you, we'll hire you. Even if you're a law student, we don't care. If you're good at this, But the truth is that there are very few people who actually learn these things in university. But if you can learn these things, and you can learn, these are not technical skills, these are not legal skills, but these are business development related skills, and they are highly in demand, because any organization which has to grow needs to do business development, including lawyers. They have to do it in a legal way. So for in India, for example, there are some restrictions. You cannot advertise, but in the US you can advertise, in the UK you can advertise. But there are a lot of business development skills that are highly in demand across the world. So I'm going to tell you about those skills. And while it would be important that you know English to do business with lawyers in other English speaking jurisdictions, these are not technical legal skills, and these are useful everywhere in the world, right? If you're a law student or a young lawyer, I'll also highly recommend that you learn these skills and help other lawyers with these skills, not for any other reason, but because it is good for your own practice. So someday if you want to build your own practice, you want to be a successful lawyer, you want more clients, you want to build a good thriving practice, then your experience with these aspects of legal practice development will be a great asset for you, for yourself, right? And so if you are young, if you are just a law student right now, you are young, a lawyer, not maybe you're not finding any work, you're sitting at home, great idea to learn these skills right now, because not only it will help you to earn good amount of money right now, and you can continue to earn good amount of money in other areas also, but later on if you want to build your practice, it will still help you a great deal. Okay, so what are these 5 skills you can use irrespective of your other qualifications to make money remotely from countries like the USA, UK, Canada, Singapore, Hong Kong, Australia, New Zealand? These are English speaking places. Dubai is a very good example. Okay, UAE, Dubai, Abu Dhabi. Lead generation. One very important skill is lead generation. Okay, so anybody here, any idea what is lead generation? Probably you don't know, but still give it a shot, your best guess. What is lead generation? Tell me. What is lead generation, guys? Anybody? Nobody is saying anything. What is lead generation? Getting prospective clients. Raghavi is saying. Samriddhi is saying generating potential customers, clients. Generating an inquisitiveness in the mind of future consumer. Attracting potential customers. Pushpadeep is saying generating more clients, maybe traffic on the website. So good guess, guys. So lead generation is when you are able to create a lead for the business. So for example, if I am a divorce lawyer and somebody is coming to inquire about or comes to me with a question about divorce or maintenance or anything related to that, right? Child custody, okay, maintenance, and ask me a question, or it is a potential lead. Somebody who has a problem, wants a solution, is a lead, right? And then we talk to that person, and maybe they will become a client and lead to some kind of business. So that is lead generation, correct? Simply generating a spark in the mind of future clients. Good way to say that. But I explained to you who is a lead. Somebody who has a problem will probably need a solution, right? And that person is a lead, correct? So can anybody tell me how to do lead generation? What are the possible ways in which we might be able to generate leads? Who can guess? Who can tell me something about this? Anybody? What could be a lead? Come on, quickly. Nobody's saying anything. Okay. Akash is saying like doing webinars on topics like murder cases for criminal lawyers. So you're a criminal lawyer and you're doing a webinar on murder case, and maybe there is somebody, a murderer or a murder accused, is watching the webinar, and comes to you for advice. Sure, possible, right? So that can be a way to generate lead. What else? Like Amish sir did a video on the Sardarji's case. So okay, so that is also a way to generate leads, that you're talking about how people. Amish is making a many lot of videos, right, on what legal issues you might face if you find yourself in certain legal solution. So if you see these videos and you find some benefit in it, it is possible that when you actually have a real big problem, because you in your mind Amish is a good lawyer and you're seeing he's a smart lawyer, you're getting to know about his expertise. So when you actually have a problem, you might go to Amish, right, for a solution. Correct. So that is one example of lead generation. Sure. What else? Advertising, setting up free talks and consultancy. Sure. Good. Emails to your potential clients. Sure. Okay. More traffic on the website. Review from previous clients on social. Nath is saying. Okay. Akash is saying lead generation should be different from advertisements, as advocates are not allowed to advertise directly. Akash is saying. Now, interesting, Akash, because lawyers in India are not allowed to advertise directly, but there is no such restrictions on lawyers in the US or UK, and many other countries in the world do not ban lawyers from advertising. Okay, lawyers advertise very much all the time. Okay, in those countries. Commenting on various posts which are related to domain topics of clients, regular connected, writing articles which clients have interest in famous journals so that they see our name, meeting them in workshops. Okay, you have shared a lot of idea. Now I'm going to say, okay, so good job, guys. Yeah, these are different ways in which you can generate leads. And we're going to talk about a lot of those today. But most importantly, lead generation, what you are suggesting is like maybe a traffic, but actually generating a lead. So for example, lead generation and nurturing, both are very important. Okay, so you have to find out. So one way to generate lead can be social media or YouTube or a webinar or an article, can be many. Okay, can be simply advertisements on Facebook. But once you get the lead, what are you telling? You tell the lead something, that I'm going to give you something. Maybe you download an ebook for free, or you join a webinar or get a workshop for free or something. Like, see, we are also doing lead generation at 𝘆𝘁, right? So we are selling courses, and for that we are having different systems through which we are in trying to inform the people who will benefit from our courses. We are trying to inform them. And there are, some of you may have downloaded some books of ours and read it for free ebooks. So there are different ways you get the email ID of the potential client. But you have to remember that you don't want random email ID of random people. You want of the relevant people, right? People who can actually become your client. So if you are a criminal lawyer, then you may want, you may want to connect with people who are actually having a problem. So you identify. Maybe people will come to you for bail. Maybe people will come to you when they're accused falsely of some kind of thing. So you are going to create content around that. So one way to generate leads is to create content which people benefit from, and then they appreciate, and then they come to you. Okay. Another way to do it is to run advertisements. So you might run advertisements, but even in advertisements, if you do anything, you want to capture their email ID, you want to capture their phone number, and build a relationship on an ongoing basis, not just a one time ad. If you just show an ad, a billboard, an advertisement, somebody sees and goes on, nobody's going to remember, no result is going to come of it. So it is very important that you actually find a way to create an ongoing relationship with that person. So for that, you have to either collect their phone number or their email ID, usually email ID, right? So there are other ways. For example, if they come on your website, there is something called Facebook Pixel. So if you have installed Facebook Pixel, it's a cookie. They'll track that person. then you can show them Facebook advertisement or Google advertisements later on. Okay, so there are all these different types of tactics through which you can find a lead. You do lead generation. Important for lawyers. So let's say somebody is working in merger and acquisitions law or investment law. Let's say investment law, right? So lead generation can be through content. It can even be one-on-one. Maybe you're organizing an event and they are your potential customer benefiting from something. Or it may be that you just email them and request for that, okay, we should catch up over coffee and discuss. Sometimes even that can be a way of generating a lead. You have a brochure, you make a very nice brochure and you're sharing it with the right people. That can be one way of doing lead generation. So there are many different strategies. It can be a media coverage, it can be PR, right? Media coverage. So all different sorts of things are there. Possibly all different kind of ways are there. Lawyer to get noticed by potential clients and therefore do lead generation. Now, it is very important for lawyers that their lead generation is strong, and not only lead generation, lead nurturing. So if somebody has come to you asking for a service, are you responding to them quickly enough? If you take 1 day to respond, or if you take 12 hours to respond, they might run away, and by that time they might have found another lawyer, right? So you want to respond quickly, you want to respond with the right information, you want to respond in the right possible way. At the same time, it's not possible to respond to everyone. So you might want to filter the right people so that you're not wasting your time with the wrong people. Correct? Paras Chauhan is asking, this type of advertising is valid for advocates. Advertising is not valid. In India also you can do business development. So for example, is it valid to write an article in Indian Express or the Hindu or on the Where? Can you write a blog post on live law? So is it allowed? If it is allowed, then clients will see it. Okay, it is allowed, right? Nothing stops you from writing articles. Now, if you write articles, potential clients may read it and they may like it and they may come to you. So is it allowed, Paras? What do you think? Yes, no? You record a video on YouTube and upload, and clients see it, they really like it and they come to you. Is it allowed, Paras? Right? Now, we are not only, you must have joined later on in the session, we are not only talking about India, we are talking about international. In the UK, even advertising is allowed. In the USA, even advertising for lawyers is allowed. You can go and run a Google advertisement campaign. You can put advertisement on the local radio or TV or newspaper, wherever you like, proper advertisement. Okay. So this is important. Okay. So I am, you have to understand that India is one country, there are other countries, and you're talking about international opportunities. You can work for international lawyers helping them with their business development, right? So, okay, cool. There is definitely limited scope, but a lot of things you can do in India as well. So let's get, so this was about lead generation. So lead generation, there is a lot of work in lead generation. You have to strategize these things. So the second one, let's see, what is the second one? Second one is article writing and blog management. So we don't really need this slides right now. So article writing and blog management, right? So this is also a way of generating leads, right? Article writing and blog management, right? So, but apart from lead generation, it can do other things also. For example, you may write articles and publish even to improve your brand. You may not get any clients immediately from such an article, but it might improve your brand. It may help judges, other lawyers to recognize you for your scholarly knowledge and so on, right? So many articles, and not only article writing, even blogging. And today, most of the law firms have their own blogs. If you, some good law firms have 3-4 different blogs. Like if you look at CAM, Cyril Amachan Mangaldas, they have a private client management, they have a blog on competition law, they have a another blog corporate governance, right? So they have multiple blogs, right? So that is also very important. Now law firms recognize, and you go to any foreign law firm, they have a blog, right? Any top law firm, small law firm, most of them have blogs, and they recognize that having a blog is very, very important for them, right? So it is critical that you learn, if you want to work in business development and earn money from that, working in foreign law firms, this is a very good potential area. If you're good at managing a blog, imagine and managing a blog doesn't mean just taking the article and posting, right? There is a lot more. Like, you have to strategy that, okay, what kind of article should we publish in the next month, which leads or which will go viral, which will get us more visibility among the clients, right? So you might do a keyword research, and you might do research on what kind of, you may actually come up with a list of articles, suggestions that they give it to the lawyer, saying that you can write articles on these areas. Okay, then like optimizing the blog, okay, optimizing it for SEO, maybe you are creating some video, go with the blog, maybe you are tracking keyword ranking, that okay, is our article ranking well, what do we need to add to the article to rank on top, is there enough backlinks to the article, and so on. Like, it's SEO and all. Apart from that, even you may see that, okay, can we get do we have a publication, are we writing enough article and publishing? So there are people I know in India also doing this work, and law students and recent law graduates doing this work, earning a lot of money from law firms. Okay, law firms to do this work because they are good at this work, right? You can earn easily 50-60,000 petition. If you know this work and you go and tell law firms, I can do this. If you are saying I'm a very good lawyer, there are enough lawyers, but people who are lawyers, who understand the legal, can do this kind of blog management, article writing is very rare. Even I have been looking for good article. Everybody thinks they can write articles, and that is another irritating thing. People think they can write, but once you give them something to write, you realize that they are horrible, right? Not up to the mark, right? You can write your college essays and all of that, but that is not the point. When you are writing an enterprise grade articles, client will read and want to hire the law firm. They are looking at the article as something written by the law firm, right? There has to be really good research, good expressions, good writing, very good structure of the article. So all of that not being there, you will not, right? So you have to be really good. But if you can do it, can you earn money? In India, you will get paid 50. Do it for foreign law firms, you can easily earn 2-3 lakhs a month. Okay, and it is highly in demand. Very few people can do this. So this was the second point. So we have discussed 2 points. One is lead generation. Second is blogs and blog management and article writing. Okay, now we are going to talk about the third point. Can anybody guess what is the? Anybody in the chat guess what is the third point? Nobody is saying anything. What's happening? Communication. YouTube videos. Okay. So the third point that I want to discuss is basically social media presence of lawyers, social media management, right? Samriddhi is correct. So management is super important. Okay, lawyers have realized that their social media presence can convince people to hire them rather than somebody else, right? Social media presence, and how many followers you have on Twitter, how many followers you have on LinkedIn. If you post something, are people reading it? Are they interacting on it? Okay, things have become very important. Even the clients are looking at it. People Google you before hiring you. So, for example, if I see that you are, let's say you are a competition lawyer, I'm looking for a competition lawyer, and I see that you have been tweeting about or in all the time talking about competition law, then definitely it will make me confident that you are who is socially validated, and everybody, like, you're actually interested in this. It's really easier to make a decision in your favor if you have a good social media presence. Pranav is saying that Harvard, Smith, Clifford Chance, and all these big foreign law accounts on Instagram. Absolutely, right? So they have that. A lot of top lawyers have their accounts on Twitter, and some of them are very active on Twitter. Why is that? Because the social media gives you a huge power, so you can spread your idea. Other people are following you, people are respecting you for your commentary on important matters. A huge difference, and you can even clients notice, because even clients are on, they are seeing what you are posting, they are seeing how the rest of the legal fraternity is engaging with that. Google you, they can see your activity, social media activity. So these things have become very, very okay. And for a big law firm, it may not be that much necessary, but for a small law firm, individual lawyer, it is even more important, right? Because a big law firm has its brand. Their brand does not have social media presence. But for a smaller law firm, for a smaller lawyer, some doesn't have such a big brand, for them it can be a make or break. It can be a huge difference, especially areas where it is public face, like B2C areas, like for example criminal matters and all of that, right? Anybody before spending so much money on a lawyer is going to at least Google the lawyer. They see is going to convince them or make not convince them, right? So, and if you see somebody on social media regularly talking about certain things, then you trust about them. Now the problem is that most lawyers are not so good at managing their social media. They have to be good at managing their social media, right? They do not post often, they do not post the right kind, they don't have time to make videos, or they don't know what to post on Instagram. That stuff, being a young person, you might be actually good at, you should act. If you're saying you will help others, a good account yourself, right? You should be successful on Twitter or Instagram, you should have enough followers there yourself. Tell this law firm that I'll help you to manage your Twitter presence. Okay, you have only 500 followers, no problem. Here, I'll take it to 5,000, and I will help you to post the right kind of content, profile, connect with the right people, and so on. Networking, power, and becoming a brand boost in legal market. Sure. So all these things happen. Okay. And so if a strong social, lot of clients have also started looking for on social media directly, right? That, oh, can somebody help me with this problem? They are please connect with lawyers who can help me with this. So it's actually a very powerful medium, and you can to build their online presence and their social media profiles. So that is okay. A business development strategy, a business development area of work, all lawyers around the world need. Okay. So maybe they have written articles already, and from that article you can take Twitter. Maybe you can get them to record some videos on Zoom or whatever, and then it properly, and then post it on YouTube or Instagram and so on. Right? Done. All right. So next one. So 3 we have covered out of 5. Right? What is the 4th one? Okay, 4th one is video and webinar. So somebody has already mentioned this correctly, that YouTube video is very important, and other lawyers who have very good presence on YouTube, right? Some of them, even I believe this is possible, that please go and make some YouTube videos. In fact, Amish is a student. We have a legal practice development and management course, and we have many people in these courses who build your legal practice, how to manage your legal practice better, and some of the things we talk about these things also, right? And there are partners of law firms, very successful independent lawyers in that course. So one thing that I can tell you is that video is the future. Video communication has become the most important form of communication that people really connect with, people really understand, people really believe. People are watching video more than anything today. Okay, podcasts also. So podcasts also, definitely podcasts also. Lawyers need help with there are a lot of lawyers who want to have their own podcast. We actually had a webinar with Sudhir Mishra. Okay, Sudhir Mishra is a founder of a law firm in India called Trust Legal, and he actually started his own podcast. And he actually hired so many RJs to guide him and train him. He built Harry Clark also, he interviewed here. He also has a podcast. So people are doing podcasts, and there are too many podcasts. Not every podcast is watched. It's hard to get business from podcast. It's much easier when it is blogging or YouTube. I will say that from video to get work, it's easier than from podcast. But podcast is also coming up. Maybe it will become very big in the future. But people hear very few podcasts. Most of the podcasts are not that successful. Okay, but yeah, there may be lawyers and law firms who want to have their own podcasts, and to help them. And there are no professionals. So if you have your own podcast, you know how to do it. You might be able to convince them, I can help you to launch your own podcast, or I can help you with editing your podcast, and so on. You have to learn the work, how to do it yourself. And then you can help these people, right? I think YouTube is much easier, even easier. Facebook and YouTube, these things are very easy. So you just have to learn, and then you can help law firms and lawyers with these things. And it has become more and more important for them to communicate in these media. So that was my fourth one. Now I'm going to tell you the fifth and the final one, that is PR, media coverage, right? PR and media coverage is also very important for lawyers and law firms. If they are on TV shows, if they get their articles are written, published in good newspapers or other magazines which are well read, or if even they get quoted in an article, right? That is very good for a lawyer, right? Lawyers get a lot of attention from that, right? And it helps people feel that yes, this is really good. Now, how can now you're thinking that how can I be a lawyer with this thing, right? Most of the time, the work is pretty much it's it's a leg work. Okay, so what you have to do is that imagine you reach out to a lot of journalists with story ideas, that would you like to do a story on this topic, would you like to do a story on this topic, and you reach out to a lot of people and say that, okay, if you want to do a story on this topic, I am providing you content and quotes, you can interview this guy and so on, right? So then even journalists are looking for ideas. So if they got a good story idea from you, then they will definitely cover that. So it reduces their work. They are also working, they also want to make their job easier. Then they would like to also give you some coverage in return, or help you out also in return. So this is one thing. Then you can also help lawyer. You can also reach out to other people who are doing YouTube, people who are doing podcast, people who are blogging. You can reach out to them and ask, would you like to do a show with us over here? And when you invite people, you ask people, many of them say, okay, we'll do it, no problem, right? Some of them will say no. The law firm may be okay to pay money for that. In some cases, they will do it without payment. Law firm may say, no, we don't want to pay any money, we want to do it for free only. In that case, that kind of collaborations can also be done. Now, if it is a well-known lawyer, many people would want to give him coverage. Many people would want to speak out on his behalf, because of which he's not getting all the attention, right? But somebody like you could reach out to him and create a lot of opportunities for him, right? and it is very easy to get clients. To do is that without they asking you, you get them some opportunities and send them and say that, do you want these? I have lined up these 4 or 5 YouTube channel videos for you. These YouTube channels all have more than 30,000, 50,000 followers, and this can be helpful for you. Now I have already arranged this for you. Do you want me to arrange more, or would you like to do it, or would you like to cancel? And the lawyer will say, yeah, I like to do it. This is great. And then might give you more work, may actually pay you to do more such work. Okay. So there are many ways to get work from lawyers. But the best is to give a proof that, look, I am already doing this for you. Okay, I will manage your Instagram profile 1 month. You don't have to pay me anything. But if you benefit from it, then you start paying me from next month, or so on. Like something like this, you can always pitch to the lawyer. Okay. So, and definitely foreign lawyers in the US will pay you much more than Indian lawyers. So try to get work from US or UK, because even if they pay you like, $1,000, which is quite less money for them in their country, here it is 75,000 rupees or 70,000 rupees, whatever. So you can actually try out these things. And once you start getting some easier to get more and more work. Okay. So that's it. I am done, guys. Questions? I have one more slide which is important. I'll quickly share. So to run you through these things, lead generation was the first one, then article writing and blog management. Third is managing and growing social media presence of lawyers. Fourth is video and webinar production. I just said video, but also webinars is also very important, right? So lawyers really understand that being on a lot of webinars help them to get potential clients. So a lot of lawyers come into webinars with 𝗨𝘂 because we have such a good reach that when they do webinars with us, they get 1 or 2 clients from that itself by being on a video, right? And depends on the topic also. So if they choose a good topic which is relevant to clients, there may be fewer people who view that, but they actually end up getting clients from there. Now that is about video and webinar production and helping them to organize their own webinars, as well as other people who are doing regular webinars, get them an opportunity to speak there and so on. And then finally, there is PR and media relations, very, very important. This is also very well paid work. And then finally, if you want to start earning money as a paralegal, definitely do not miss my workshop on the 28th, right? 28th, I have a webinar that I want you guys to attend. It is about paralegal work. I have to update the page. I had a similar workshop on 13th of November, but this time I am updating this. I'll have new content. So even if you have attended it before, you should attend it again if you like it. If you like the last one, you like this more. But register here so that we can notify you. I'll notify you here also. Right? Those of you who want to go abroad, who want to practice in other countries, those of you who want to do paralegal work, earn a lot of money sitting in India, make it a beginning of your career, definitely look at this workshop. Make sure you're there on 28th. For 3 hours, I'll teach you a lot of new knowledge. So looking forward to having all of you there. Okay. How many of you are here who did not attend it before will attend for the first time? Saransh, okay. Anybody else? Raghavi, Samriddhi. Great, awesome. Who else? Who all were already there? Do you have to share any feedback from last time? Did you like it last time? Did you benefit from the webinar last time? Anyone? Okay. Nobody is saying anything. So let's move on. All right. So awesome. Hope to see you all, guys. This is a free workshop, 3-hour workshop, free of cost. So definitely be there. Jagannath is saying yes, it was a wonderful workshop. Great. The webinar was really good. I learned a lot. Shambhavi is saying, great. Jagannath is saying it helped me a lot. Awesome. So definitely come. Saran Srivastava is saying, I saw it on YouTube the other day. Not possible. It is not on YouTube. You can't see it on YouTube. It is not. It was only on Zoom. We never shared it on YouTube. Okay, on 13th we had a 3-hour workshop. It's not on YouTube. You have watched other things, but not that. Okay, so guys, any question? 1 hour is almost over. I told you about all these business development opportunities, skills that you can actually, learn and get work. Anything you want to ask? Anybody? Any questions you have? Jagannath, you have any questions? Pranav, any questions? Raki, Rajesh, any questions? Yash, any questions? On YouTube also, if anybody has any question. Deepak, if you have any question, what is your question? I want to practice outside India. How could I do that? Okay, so I will share one article with you here right now. Just a moment. Just finding this article will help you. Okay, Deepak, I hope you got it. Read this, you have your answer. How to practice outside India with IP law, you learn from here. Okay. What type of article should we write in the very beginning? Shambhavi is asking. So write articles which will generate leads. So think about it that, okay, let's say I am a lawyer, right? So let's say I'm a, what kind of lawyer? Let's say I'm a banking lawyer, right? So who are my clients? Banks, NBFCs. So what would be their queries? What problem they might be facing? What is their pain? Think about that and write articles which address that. Because if you write articles about that, and then they will respond to it. They might actually have further questions. They might want to talk more about it. They might want to get in touch with the lawyer who has written about that. So you want to write articles like that, which find a target market and then write articles which deal with their pain points, their demands, their aspirations, and that will help. Okay. So Shambhavi, that's your answer. Pranav is asking, after IP law workshops and other webinars, please do some webinars on how to perform well at law school related, score good GPA, whether internships carry relevance to you or your grades. Sure, next month I'll do this 100%. Okay. Then Jagannath, what is your question? I don't know. Ask your question again. Shambhavi, you are in first year, that is fine, not a problem. Still, whatever, think of potential clients, think of what are their pain points, and then write articles that address those pain points. Okay. Pranav Sethi, another things are in IP law workshop, which was held on 13th of November. It was best workshop by you. Thank you. Thank you. Guest that you invited. He actually gave somewhat a small roadmap of how Indian lawyers can expand their IP practice in places like New York. Yes. How to start the work without any experience. I mean, how to convince international clients that we can help with without prior experience. So if it is, let's say, for example, it's very simple, right? So if you want to say that I will help you with YouTube videos, then make your own YouTube channel or make YouTube videos for 𝘆𝚻 or anybody, right? And then show that, okay, these are the videos I have made in the past, and I can make more videos like this for you. Then you can organize a webinar for 𝘆𝚻 or on your own, whatever. Let's say that these are the 5 webinars I organized in the past, and I can, or these are the possible problems you might be facing while organizing your webinars. But I can help you to organize one webinar every week without any problem. Okay, you don't have to take any hassles. We will provide the service. We'll take care of everything. You don't have to worry about anything, right? So if you can do that, Samriddhi, then people will be happy to give you that work, right? You don't have to go and say, I am a first year law student, I don't know anything. No, you have to say that, look, I have already done this work. I have already written these articles. I am already managing this blog, and I have got this much traffic, or I have managed this lawyers or something I have done that you have to show that I have done. I would like to do it for you, and I will only charge this much money, and you will have no headache, no problems. I'll take care of everything. Would you be interested? And many of them will say yes. And it is true that if you reach out to 20 people, maybe 1 or 2 will say yes. But you have to reach out to 20 people with a good offer, then 1 or 2 will say yes. That is the idea. Okay. I hope that helps you to understand how to go about it. Okay, 𝗂𝗄𝗵𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀, you have a question? Please ask me. Dollars, I don't know what is that sign. Rohan Yadav have question regarding legal journalism business. Is it right platform, right time to ask? We are not talking about legal journalism, but if you have a question, you can ask. I'll try to answer, Rohan. Okay. 𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗀𝗃𝗃 Jati is asking, what is the scope of intellectual property rights and cyber law for engineers who want to practice after LLB? Very good. Actually, engineers are needed in the law area because there is a huge demand for, tremendous importance of, like, patent. In patent, you have, if you have, you're an engineer, you can do a lot of patent work that other lawyers cannot do. Similarly, in cyber security, there is so many areas of law, data protection, a lot of areas of law where your engineering knowledge and your scientific bent of mind will really help. Okay, so absolutely good idea to do it, right? So cyber evidence collection and all of that, there's a lot of work really for engineers in law and in legal field. It's a good idea. And a patent definitely is a very exciting area to work in for engineers in law. All right. If we aren't from science background, will it hamper us in IP law? No, it will not hamper you. I have answered this question 100 times. Okay. Not from being a background won't hamper you. Anyway, trademark has no IP, copyright has no science, trademark has no science. Only in patent law there is science. And for that also, you don't necessarily need a science background, but you have to understand the science, right? Patent is dealing with science, with technology. If you can't understand the science, then you can't practice patent law. Okay, but the rest you can still do. Trademark, copyright, you can still do. All right. Any questions? Rachit is asking, should law students learn coding or machine learning? Does it help in career prospects? Not really. It's like if you want to increase your capacity, you want to learn new things all the time. That's a good thing to, it's a good habit to learn new things. But I don't see how coding will actually be helpful or machine learning will be helpful to your law. It's not necessary at all, honestly. rather become a good lawyer, rather learn business development, rather learn marketing and all of these things. It'll help you more than learning coding, okay, or machine learning for that matter. I'm a final year law student till now, confused about judiciary and practice. Whatever you do, don't be confused. Just take something and start doing it, right? Otherwise, you'll keep thinking and thinking and thinking and nothing will happen. Final year is no time to be confused. If you're in confused in your first year, I can still understand that, okay, koi baat nahi, first year hai. After that, you should not be confused because, see, if you're in final year now, you have few months to graduate. Are you confused about this? Do you want to graduate with a job or not? If you are going to give judiciary, you want to crack it within the first shot or you want to try 2-3 times? Think about it. You are not confused, right? You just have to attack something, take something, whichever fascinates you, whichever feels the best, and attack. There is no luck. It's a luxury to be in confusion. Do you have so much luxury? If you have a lot of money, you are rich, you have no problem, then you can have the luxury of being in confusion. But if you're like me, you want to be successful, you don't have, when I was a student, I didn't have any money, I wanted to earn money quickly, so I was not confused, I was just taking every opportunity that came to me, right? So Arun, take whatever opportunity. What is the opportunity right now? Grab the opportunity. Don't wait, don't be confused. Do you have so much luxury to sit and wait and be confused? Take something and make it happen. Okay, later on you can change. If you don't like it, change later. That's later. Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Good being with all of you. Hope to see you tomorrow. Again, tomorrow I'll have another session. Normally, I do not do these sessions on Saturday, Sunday. But this Sunday, I thought I'll do it. Yesterday, I missed. And I thought this Sunday, I'll also do. There is a bunch. Actually, I want to finish a bunch of sessions on paralegal and IP law within this month. I don't want to take it to this month. Next month, I'll do a new series, right? So I decided that tomorrow also I'll do, and so for once in a long time, I'm actually doing a webinar on a Sunday. So looking forward to all of you. Sign up for the webinar. If you don't know where to sign up, I'll share it with you here. 𝗏𝗂𝗏𝑐𝑜.com/webinar, right? I'll share again. Here you go. Okay, so that you don't miss tomorrow's webinar, sign up here. And also, definitely don't forget to follow me on Twitter, right? Let me share my Twitter profile with all of you guys. If you are not already following me on Twitter, please follow me on Twitter so that we can be in touch. If you have any questions further, you can ask me there. Want to make a platform like Google News? Do I have to take permission from news portals to share their article links on my website? Is it legal to do without their permission? If you're only sharing a link, no problem. If you're sharing the entire article, not okay. If you're just sharing a link and a snippet, it should be fine. Prapati, I belong to tier 2 city in India where there is no scope for IP and cyber law. What's the opportunity next? Do remote work, Prapati. You don't have to, if you're in a tier 2 city, you can work remotely in a tier 1 city, or you can do remote work in a foreign country. You can work in London, you can work in New York, you can work in Texas. Why do you want to worry about, if you have to get a job in tier 2 city, then it's very difficult. You will not get a good job. You'll get paid very less. So if you want a big salary, if you want to earn good money, then try to work abroad, remote work, because after pandemic, people are used to doing remote work. So try to find remote work. Don't try to find work in your small tier 2 city. Try to find it somewhere else in a big city, but remotely, right? Because you can sit in your tier 2 city and still work remotely in a big city. That is what we talked about. All this work today, we talked about. This is, if you know these things, then you can work with lawyers in the US, you can work with lawyers in the UK, you can work with law firms in Dubai, you can work with law firms in Japan, you can work with law firms in China, right? And help them with these things. So think how to do that. Don't think how can I do this in a small city. Okay. Can we have a session on remote work? 𝗵𝗵𝗵, you have come after a long time. How are you doing? We have been doing sessions on remote work this entire month. Okay. From the beginning on IP law, paralegal work, remote work. I have been doing it. I said I'll do one more on remote work. Not a problem. Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone. I am trying to secure a freelance writing in the US for a podcast. Very nice, Samriddhi. Very nice. Awesome. Do it. It'll happen. It's easier. It's easier to get a job in the US than in India. No kidding. Because in India, it is said that it is easier to earn $1 than a rupee. Okay, because in the US, actually, you can charge so less. You have a huge competitive advantage in the US. You don't have that competitive advantage in India. Okay. Google News is fighting case for doing the same, hence I am concerned. Yeah, but I mean, I don't want to go into the IP law about this. In copyright law, there is a de minimis rule where it says you cannot punish somebody for minimum copy. It has